I'm with the fabulous Kate Roham, and Kate is so full of knowledge around exercise and the menopause and why we need to do certain things. And through her own amazing experiences, she's sort of discovered the best way forward, and that's how she teaches her clients. And you've only got to look at Kate and think, I want arms like that. So I'm going to be doing a little bit more upper body exercise. But Kate, the thing that I get asked a lot, and to be honest, I'm finding this. So I'm hedging towards 50 now, and I feel actually
I cannot believe that. I just have to say, honestly.
But I feel, there's really mixed emotions around it, because I feel really super lucky to be hedging towards 50, and I'm trying not to be sort of scared about it. But when you're a teenager and everybody who's 50 thinks really ancient. But you said in the first episode that, age is so different now. Everybody's still young. 70 is still really young. 90, people are still running marathons at 90. It's incredible what you can do, but you've got to move in order to keep that sort of fitness, haven't you? And stretching and yoga and things like that. But one of the areas that my age group really struggle with, and even if they've got the greatest diet in the world and they're eating really well and they're exercising, is the belly area. So, in my 20s, 30s, I always had my belly out. I always had a little crop top on, loved my belly. It was flat as a pancake. And you sort of have your children, and it's not that it's, I was able to get it back after that, and lots of people are too, but hitting 50, your body starts to change, and suddenly you kind of look and think, what am I doing? I'm not, maybe I need to up my game. Maybe I need to, but you certainly don't want to be eating less, and you don't want to be adjusting your diet in such a drastic way to get those results. And so what are your thoughts on that, Kate, on keeping your washboard tummy at 50?
Well, I just let's say something. I never had a washboard stomach when I was younger. I was always a little bit rounder. I still don't have a washboard stomach now, although people might say that I do. I do have abs. It is interesting because I would definitely say, I love it. And I didn't get my figure back after children either.
But you have got such a good tummy. I've seen it in all your videos.
I'm stronger now than I was.
Right.
Probably in my 30s. The only other time I probably had washboard stomach was marriage and honeymoon.
Yes.
And let's go there, because actually that leads the conversation on quite nicely. Yeah. That what I did to achieve what I thought I should look like, and I say what I thought I should look like on my wedding day because everybody told me I was too thin, what came with such huge sacrifices. Yeah. And that is the same of women when they come into that age of 40, 45. The problem I think we see is that they will go to trainers and say, this is what's happened. And what people aren't factoring in is the menopause. So what a trainer might prescribe for someone who's 25, 30 with those issues is not what needs to be prescribed for someone who's 40, 45. I'm not saying that they need to, we do need to train differently. That is a given. People might argue with that. But, there's this, obviously the calorie deficit thing, which is really difficult, because if you think about it, we do need to be in a calorie deficit if we want to lose weight. The thing we need to understand is we can't target fat loss in an area. Yeah. So it becomes an overall thing. So actually, you can't say to a woman, cut out 500 calories a day from your diet, do this, and that's going to happen, and do 7-minute abs. That's all crap, quite frankly. Also, if we look at that calorie deficit, let's say you and I are the same shape, same size. I've got a dog, you haven't. I'm going to burn more calories because I'm walking my dog twice a day. Yeah. So the BMR calculators that we use, and they can be a little bit off. We just kind of need to take all that into account if we are looking at that weight loss. Yeah. It then also can encourage women to have really bad eating habits again, or start to have eating habits if we're feeding them this information. It can become, just get stuck in your brain. What I would say is, you have to make sacrifices to get that washboard stomach. And that's like huge calorie restrictive dieting. And that is continuous. Yeah. Exercising, again, to another level. And it's not sustainable. It's achievable. Yeah. And again, don't what I don't want is for someone to listen to this and to say, well, I achieved it and I did it. Like it is, and everyone's different. Your metabolic rate is different.
Yeah.
So you can get there, and it might be easier for somebody than it's not. But I don't want to be associated with that way of losing weight. What I want is for women to lose weight for what it's going to do on their inside.
Yes.
And that transfers to the outside.
Yeah.
And again, you will know it is like diet. What you put in, you know, you're not going to see it necessarily straight away with your hair, your skin, your teeth, your eyes, all of that stuff. It will take time. But what is going on in here reflects on the outside. But I think we just need to embrace our bodies. It's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, because you're you know, social media, everything. We're just so everybody just compares to all these perfect pictures, you know. And does anybody actually have the perfect body? You know, it's about how it works, isn't it? We're so lucky when it's working properly, and we can exercise. And you know, I would think that that's what we've got to hold on to more than anything. Is that we're lucky enough to be able to do it. You know, our legs work to go running, we can lift weights, we can do the yoga stretches. But, you know, in your experience with your clients, what's your most challenging sort of thing or question that people ask you the most around the age of sort of menopause, or as you're saying, sort of after 40?
So it is that, it is it's almost how do I get back to my 30-year-old self?
Yes.
And the blanket answer is you're not, because you're 45. Like, yes. You've got to stop chasing that dream. You've also got to not look at unrealistic images of women on social media, or dare I say it, on the cover of magazines sometimes. I would love, doesn't have to be me, although that would obviously be really nice, for women's health, or for, you know, women's fitness, or for some magazine just to go, let's just pluck some ordinary 45-year-old out. And I know it wouldn't sell magazines, but you know, there have been articles on various, I mean, I'll never forget one, a celebrity who was 52 and looked 12. I mean, she looked 12 for very obvious reasons.
Yes.
And then, you know, in the article it went on to say that when her chef would bring her the hand reared chicken eggs from the garden, that, you know, so and so, and then whatever Pete would turn up and do 2 hours of exercise a day. You're like, you're missing the point. You're not speaking to women. Like, you're giving them wrong aspirations. You're giving them wrong goals. This is not attainable. Like, and that just drives me mad. I know it sells magazines, and that's what's got to be done. But you're not giving people the truth. And I think that's what I just get upset about. And it will never happen. But we just have to keep talking and go, you know, we are real women with real problems, with real
lives. And you know, it's for me, it's not about counting the calories. I really very rarely, unless I'm working with a specific athlete or something like that, I very rarely count calories with my clients. It's all about bombarding your body with the goodness and making sure that, you know, the majority of your food is plant-based, you know, and whatever else they sort of choose to eat outside of that, as in, you know, if they want to eat meat, whatever, good meat. But it is, you know, so crucial, particularly when you're hitting this kind of age. Well, it's crucial anyway. And as I have said in all my podcasts, the earlier you can start, the better, because you're introducing that into your body constantly, and then your taste buds change. Everything about the way you eat changes.
I love that fact about the taste buds changing, because that is so true. Like, I used to hate avocados, and I used to hate all these various things, and now I'm like, got to eat the avocado. Last night I had quinoa, avocado, you know. So you've got to go through. And and actually, funny enough, my dad said to me the other day, one of my green juices, he's like, I just don't get it, they all taste. And I'm like, no, but they're so good for you. If I can just do, you know, 2 or 3 good things a day, because I have a terrible sweet tooth, I really do, and I have a slight addiction to like salt and vinegar crisps. I don't want to not have that in my life. I've done one thing, I've taken out alcohol, so I'm not going to strip everything back, and that's the thing. It's like that moderation, and to enjoy life. Like I really think we need to get to a point where, like 40, 45, to just like, I don't know,
just love it.
Enjoy,
So, Kate, you have got a really good sort of top 10 hit list of you know, really good advice about how we navigate our way through menopause, what we need to do in order to feel strong, you know, look great. So fire away, tell us what your top 10 tips are.
So my top 10 tips, they might repeat themselves, but I don't think they do. So start lifting weights with guidance from a professional, which we mentioned in our last podcast.
Yes.
Try to get more sleep, around 8 to 9 hours. Again, that, just to very quickly pick up on, is something that really annoys me when people say that, because I don't get 8 to 9 hours sleep. It is quite hard. So try to, try to.
But just on that point of sleep though as well, the more exercise you do, the better you are likely to sleep well throughout the night.
Yeah.
And I know obviously there are other factors. There's a lot of other factors when it comes to menopause that you may need to consider, but from an exercise point of view, it will help to reduce your cortisol levels, you know, which will help you if you've got stress in your life, and exercise is paramount. And the sleep that you do get, I don't know whether you feel this, Kate, when you've been out on the paddleboard all day, or when you've been, you know, just outside, even if you're camping and you're just fetching, you know, whatever it is to cook with, or water or whatever, you just sleep so much better.
Yeah. So
fresh air.
Yeah, fresh air. Can't wait for that. Eat a balanced diet, obviously, which we touched on. So listen to your body and look at the different forms of exercises. So ones that might be seemingly more gentle can be good for menopause. Yoga, swimming, 20 minutes walking a day. And this will help keep your body going until your energy levels increase. Again, we touched on that, I think, in the last one. So just do something. Something is better than nothing, and listen to your body.
So are you saying not do all three, or just saying choose one of those to do for at least?
Do all three. Yeah, and I often have people that say, I only do yoga. Is that okay? I only do this. Of course it's okay, like it's brilliant, but if you can add some weights, she's like the annoying weight person. If you can add a set of dumbbells once a week at some point slowly, then great, once you feel strong enough to do it.
So doing it against your own body weight, as in something like yoga, is not, you're saying add something onto that as well.
If you can, and you can, you know, if you're not ready to invest, you could use baked bean cans, wine bottles, although that brings me on to the next point, which is actually cut back or cut out alcohol.
Yeah.
And I have expanded quite a lot actually on a lot of these points, and it might just be worth, I mean, sort of perhaps expanding on the cutting out of alcohol, because directly drinking after exercise obviously is not advisable, but again, going back to sleep, alcohol can disrupt our sleep patterns, and the growth hormones that we need for muscle growth are released during deep sleep. Therefore, disturbed sleep from alcohol will lead to slow muscle gain. So I think that is really important in the whole exercise thing, that like if you're going to put in the effort to achieve something, you're stripping it back. And I don't know, I mean, we could talk about alcohol, I could go on about it. We have, I think, this demographic of women, from what I can see and what I've put out on Instagram about my journey of not drinking, you know, everyone assumes they're not drinking because you're an alcoholic. I mean, I was drinking a lot. I will be very honest and say I was having some terrible, menopause, and my dad was ill, and I was drinking more. But you don't have to have a problem to stop. And if you really want to look, and I'm not saying stop forever. I don't know if I've stopped forever, but for now, I need to make my body work, I need to stop. So don't put a time limit on it. Just give it a go and try it for a week and see how much better you feel. Because I can tell you now, you'll feel better in a week.
Did you feel the effects immediately? In what areas were you feeling good?
And energy, and clarity of mind. And actually, my kids, funny enough, I was doing a story with Sophie, and sort of about a month in, and I said, am I calmer? And as I actually asked her the question because I'd started my HRT, and she said, yeah, you're so much calmer now, you're not drinking. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't think, I wasn't talking about the drinking, but obviously she didn't really know what I was talking about. So I guess calmer, like it doesn't control, like it was that thing where I would think 5 o'clock, and actually it was getting earlier and earlier and earlier. And then, you know, you make bad food choices around it. That's the problem. It goes hand in hand. And then again, you were talking about motivation. You know, if you drink, you wake up the next morning, you're not going to give your workout your best. And actually you can't, you're probably doing more damage really working out on on a hangover. And you know, unless you're like 25, which, you know, I remember like drinking and then, you know, did run for days, but we're not 25 anymore. So warming up, stretching. No, we're not. When we look at warming up and stretching, hugely important. Something that I know I do my Instagram workouts in the morning. Everyone's like, oh, when's she actually going to get on with the workout? But I'm real stickler for making sure we've warmed up. I won't do a stretch. I do rely on people to do that stretch afterwards, because otherwise it just takes too long. But definitely a warm up. Sort of touching it, but finding something you love. Like anything is better than anything, is better than nothing. So move is beneficial. Gardening, you know, if you like gardening, go out there and do gardening. And actually that brings me back to the point that, you know, if you incorporate all these things and you look after your joints and your muscles and your bones, if you're a gardener, you can garden for longer. Like it'll help you lift your bags of whatever you're lifting and planting. You know, if you think about every movement we're doing all day, we are using those patterns of movement that our bodies need to be strong with. The way we sit, you know, if we're sat at a desk, stop, always just think, how long have I been hunched for? You know, maybe set an alarm. You can every hour to get up and just walk, you know, for 5 minutes, go outside if you're able, and just have that break. Do a stretch, you know, just hop off the desk and do something. But warming up and stretching, finding something you love. And then again, I will go into details, but recognizing the barriers at this time, which again we did touch on, but obviously pelvic floors, huge for women. Fear of failure is a really big one. I think at this point, you know, you set yourself up, and again with the anxiety around menopause, we often won't take that dive into working out. Lack of motivation, unsure where to start, unsure how to begin, time poor and tiredness. So when I say recognize those barriers, you know, you're not alone. I think is my point in that point, is that we all think that we're the only ones feeling like that. Well, you're not. Every single person.
That's why I love all this online stuff, because I think a lot of people, obviously gyms were not open in lockdown, but now they are reopening. Still, I have lots of clients, it's particularly if they're overweight or they feel really uncomfortable about their bodies, and they're not happy in themselves, they feel really intimidated going into a gym. So because there's so much available, you know, and one of the other things that I personally find crucial for exercise is having somebody to do it with. So somebody who I'm going to be accountable to. So, you know, if you're going to go for a run, or if you're going to do a workout in the morning, somebody else is there, because if they're there, then you have to do it. Whereas if they're not there,
it's funny. That's why actually those lives work. You know, like I'm getting around about 100 to 105 people joining in the morning now, which is great. I mean, you know, it started with 2, it's grown to 5, and actually I would still get up if it was 2. Because if I'm helping 2 people, you know, that's so important. But actually, just going back to your point about saying, you know, there's so much online stuff. I won't say which company, because I never like to get myself into trouble. But I approached a couple of the online places that roll out bigger fit workouts, bigger workouts. Platform, and said to them, and actually I've met them all, and said, I think it'd be really good if you had an older trainer. Again, it doesn't have to be me. To understand, because actually you're cutting off a huge demographic. I don't necessarily want to watch somebody who is 25, 30. What I want to be clear as well on this point is to say that that's not to say that when I go to London and actually, you know, do a fun workout with young people, I love that. I totally love that. And I love that vibe and that camaraderie and that buzz of a class. That I'm totally fine with. But I do feel that some of these apps need to be more inclusive of women over 40. Like, we are totally forgotten and unrepresented. We seriously are. And that's what I kind of said to this company, that and that, you know, that they just come up with, we know when it works, people don't mind doing it. And that's what I know, but actually those 100 people that are joining me in the morning, be paying you on your platform, 100, like, actually there is money in it. There's clearly money, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what they're scared of. And again, I'm not saying it has to be me. Maybe they think I'm crap. That's fine.
I very much doubt that, but it's a very good subject.
Somebody with a wobbly, like I do have a wobbly, like, you know, I'm sitting out, I have a wobbly belly when I sort of sit and I roll over, like something that is achievable.
Yes.
That's what we need, that image of normalness, and that I might, you know, and I think that's what works actually with the workouts in the morning. It's really coming in, or Sophie, my 12-year-old, where's my school uniform? Or to breakfast, or you know, it's just
very real.
And that's what it needs to be. It needs to just be, you know, putting on makeup and being dressed for a workout. You know, I can't do it. I often have toothpaste, you know, possibly. I've done workouts before I've had my leggings on inside out. Oh my God, my leggings are on inside out. I get up, I roll out of bed, and I do the workout. There is no an hour before.
Studio for an hour, yeah.
I have lights. I literally prop my phone up on a teacup.
Yeah.
You know, it is.
But that's why it's so great, because it is so real, and I absolutely love that about you. And I love the fact that everything you teach has been through things that you've discovered, and that you have got this great following. And I would highly recommend anybody who's listening to this now to try one of your classes, Kate. And honestly, I think we're definitely going to have to come back and do more, because it's such an interesting subject, and one which everybody wants to know more about. Everybody wants to do more exercise. But you know, the knowing where to start, knowing how to start, knowing how to get into it, and how much to do, which hopefully are the things that you've managed to cover. So as a last minute sort of, you know, sentence, if I was to say to you, right, okay, I've got lots of clients that don't know how to begin. They want to, they've been thinking about it for several months. They want to get off the sofa and they want to start doing some exercises so they feel better. Where do they start? What do they do?
I would say just start. Like, stop making excuses. I know that sounds awful. Like I was saying, if you've got crippling pain, but that pain will go. That pain will get better if you move. Movement makes everything better. And actually, something I haven't mentioned actually in either of the podcasts is mental health. And movement for mental health, because it all ties in. If you are in pain, if you're gaining weight, you lose that momentum, you lose that motivation. But just tiny steps, like I said, 5 minutes a day for a week, 10 minutes a day, and actually you'll find you'll be able to build really quickly. But just start. So just make up your mind, watch one of Kate's amazing programs, and just, you know, or go to your local gym, get some friends in the park. The weather's great right now. You know, it's light until late if you're in the UK. Just sort of make up your mind that today is the day, and then continue that, because the more you do it, it becomes a habit, doesn't it? Day one or one day.
Yes, love it. Kate, thank you so much. This has been so amazing, and we will definitely be doing this again. I really appreciate your time and your knowledge, and she's now being dragged off. Thank you so much, and we'll speak again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.